Hey guys, thank you so much for coming back to another episode of Chat with Kat. We are using this cute ass little mic, okay? And I was having the hardest time figuring this shit out, so hopefully this works out. And this is just another investment that I'm making to try and make my videos a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Lighting is gonna get better, everything's gonna get better. And you know what's like the best today? We got my little co-host Blanca. She put her head down, but you'll see her, of roaming around. This is like her. I'm not gonna say it's definitely not her nap time. She does whatever the fuck she wants. So everybody say hi to Blanca. She doesn't really seem interested. Anyway, thank you guys so much. I say this all the time, but I'm truly, truly grateful for everybody who takes a moment of their time to listen to me talk about anything. You know how this channel is. And if you are new here, welcome. This is where I literally talk about anything and everything. I have a list of topics that I choose from, and I'm trying to be more consistent. I think I'm doing a decent job at it. But here I'm coming back to you with another episode. I know things have been all over the place. I've been moving and all that. So we're going to try and get back to some normalcy here. So after making some adjustments, I'm going to learn to not keep this mic so damn close to my mouth. And I didn't realize how loud and how pretty powerful this little mic is. It's so tiny. It's little but mighty, like me. So I'm learning. I'm sorry. I felt like I was screaming in y'all ear. Hopefully this is better. So what the fuck are we going to talk about today? I am approaching my 3rd year anniversary in porn. It will be my official 3 years in February. We are in December now, obviously. So I figured, I was like, you know what? I kind of have been wanting to do something where I reflect on how I thought my career was going to go in the industry and versus how it actually is or whatever. Like, what are things that I have learned in these 3 years? Because there's so much, So I came up with a little list. Again, for the sake of YouTube, we're not going to be here talking forever. So let's get right on into it. What have I learned? Lord have mercy. You know what I will say above all else, and this is in no particular order, but being in this industry, you learn how to work with so many different types of people, different personality traits. And I would say that my background and mostly working in customer service has helped me immensely with navigating different kinds of people, because the same way that I was working in a store and you never know who the hell was going to walk in and what kind of attitude they were going to be in or whatever, it's the same thing with dealing with people you're working with, producers, fans, like the whole nine. So it's definitely helped me with my people skills. Thankfully I already had people skills, because as I've said before, every single job or opportunity that you've had, experience that you've had in your life, will most definitely help you in some way, shape, or form later on, and you may not even realize it. So I'm just thankful I already had some sort of background with working with all different kinds of people. This just is a lot more intimate and personal, so that's something I've been navigating. Not that I knew everything before I got into this industry, but I've learned so much more about body autonomy and about consent. Consent is huge, okay? I mean, we all say we know about consent, but do we fucking really? So there's just so much that that's all I'm going to keep fucking saying throughout this entire video, is that there's so much that I've learned that I don't think I would have learned otherwise, which is why I don't regret being in this industry, even though I have I have my list of complaints, y'all. Y'all are here to hear them. So on top of dealing with people, it's also because, okay, so this isn't like a typical like 9 to 5 job where you put on a suit and tie and you gotta go to meetings and shit like that. Like, obviously our job is a little bit different than that, but it doesn't mean that you should handle yourself with less professionalism. I mean, obviously, like, you're sitting there talking to producers and shit, like, you're talking about scenes, you're sucking dick and all that. Like, we get that, but there's just a way to conduct yourself. And hold on one second, my fucking light went out. Another moment in Cat's ghetto ass life. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it through. So anyway, so yes, you should always, like, it's like when you're putting yourself out there, So because we don't have like formal resumes, you are your resume. Like as soon as you walk in that door, whenever you're gonna meet with people, whatever, like you have to put your best foot forward. Unfortunately, there's just so much shit that happens that could just be avoided if you didn't act like an asshole. You know what I mean? And oddly enough, I have remaining professional as something that's highlighted here in my list because I don't understand. It's like some of y'all had never went on a job interview. Some of y'all had never had a formal job. I don't know. Like I find it very hard to believe. And I think some people just get into this and just become like too lax or just talk too much. And going on to my next point is there was a lot of fucking drama in this industry. Oh yeah, you bet your ass. Okay, you thought like the music industry was crazy, the hair industry, the like regular celebrity. Like, bro, this is porn. Okay, people talk shit about people all the time, whether it be about their bodies, about like them as people, about shit that, look at me, I'm not even making sense with my fingers right now because it's just drama, it's bullshit. A lot of people are just immature and quite frankly don't know how to express themselves, and they're one of those things that like you kind of have to deal with, but then again you don't, because the beauty of being in this industry, well, especially on the content creation side, I'll say on the porn side, sometimes you're stuck with who you stuck with unless you truly don't want to work with a person for whatever reason, and in which that case, like, that's different. But when you're hitting somebody up to work with them, you know, you're choosing to do that. So it's like no one's putting a gun to our heads and saying like you have to work with this person or whatever. And that's also what I would say that goes back to the people skills, is you're going to meet all different kinds of people, and sometimes you talk to somebody online and they are nothing like how they are in person, or vice versa, and then you just kind of go from there. Like, is this someone that I want to actually fuck on camera? Like, can I stand this person enough to put out some good content? There's been times when, you know, I worked with someone once and it was one and done, and it is what it is. I'm pretty sure we all have our experiences and stories with that, but it fucking happens. You know, if I would say if you have 10 scenes, right, and like 8 of them go well, you're doing pretty fucking good. You know, sometimes we come down hard on ourselves on maybe choosing the wrong person to work with or whatever, or who we choose to associate ourselves with, but shit happens. You live and you learn. Something that I love discussing is testing and the testing requirements, because I did not know that the testing the testing requirements were this serious. However, I do understand, and I'm not complaining by any means. What I will say is that things change with testing. A year ago, we weren't doing swabs, and now we are. A few months ago, we didn't know about MGen. Well, most of us. And now it's become something that's added to the panel. So, guys, I know it can be frustrating sometimes because we put our lives out on the line. And this is also something I didn't know, that I didn't even write down. I didn't really realize the risk. I was like, before, you know, I was like, oh yeah, you can get an STI, whatever. But yeah, you don't you don't really truly realize like how close something is till it happens to you, or you know, it's happened to so many people, like even around me too. So you're like, oh shit, like obviously, like yeah, now this is fucking reality. It's part of our job, right? But anyway, so going back to the whole testing thing, it's things are constantly changing because bacteria's change. It was told to me like, hey, MGen wasn't really a thing a few years ago, and now it's out because it's us as humans and bacteria. They mutate, you know what I'm saying? So like STIs that weren't a thing like years ago aren't now, and you know, whatever. So it comes with the territory, and I'm always learning something. There's something in my eye about sexual health. There's just always stuff to learn. Like, I will never be someone who knows 100% of the information. I don't think anybody ever will. So it's so important to please educate yourself, and don't ever go for what somebody's saying. Like, don't ever take anybody's word for it. Do your own fucking research. That's also something that happens, is sometimes people don't do their due diligence and they find some shit out or whatever. And it's like, baby, you could have Googled. You know, we want to be able to trust each other as best as we can, as much as we can. But there are things you have to take into your own hands and be like, this don't sound right to me, or I want to know more about this. And that's totally. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I realized fairly quickly in my early 20s that working under somebody else or to make money for another company or whatever, like, it was just not my wave. I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to make my own schedule, be my own boss. It always sounds fucking great, right? Until you start. So, guys, like, I know a lot of people want to become entrepreneurs, and I would never deter someone from their dreams and from what truly makes them happy, but I would just say, buckle the fuck up. It is not as easy as you think. The person that you have to answer to is right here, is yourself. Look in the mirror, right? And I don't know about you guys, but I tend to be very hard on myself. And we are like, just working for yourself is hard because you realize that, okay, not only do I have to take care of my business, like my finances and all that, but I have to take care of myself as a person. It's extremely overwhelming. I find myself exhausted sometimes, physically, mentally, and then that's when I have to do my whole self-care and all that. So I will say that is that I think that when I got into this, I kind of thought it was going to be a lot easier, but I think that's with a lot of things in life. And then as time goes on, I'm like, oh, this bullshit and this and that, and a lot of things tend to take a toll. It's happened to me many times, and it's why I'm so big on taking breaks and just taking porn out of the equation, taking porn out of my mind, even if it's for a week, a weekend, 2 weeks. I don't give a damn. It's whatever I am needing at that current time. Because if not, everything's going to go to shit. My content's going to go to shit. I'm not going to feel like doing it. And I love what I do. I am a full-time content creator, and I will be doing this probably for the rest of my life in some capacity, shape, or form. So if this isn't fun for me, I don't see the point of fucking doing it. And that when I start to not feel the joy in it, when I start to feel more stressed, that's when I have to take a step back and go through my whole process and be like, I thought porn was going to be fun, but it's fucking real. So if I can give two last pieces of advice to wrap this video up: stay out of the fucking drama. Especially to my newbies out there, I understand, like, especially when you're first starting, you might not know anybody, you might not have a lot of friends. I get that. And you're going to see a lot of times it can be very cliquey. But as I've said before, I've met some awesome people in this industry who I would have never met any other way. So there's good and bad. I would just say, do your fucking best, especially on social media, to keep your mouth shut. A lot of times shit don't got nothing to do with you, and we tend to take things personally when we shouldn't. And yeah, it could just get very petty and catty, especially amongst the women. The men too, okay? Y'all ain't safe. So it's just one of those things. You see drama, stay the fuck out of it. Even if it's with two people that you know or friends with, just try your best to stay fucking neutral. And I understand some people aren't going to like you because of this, that, and the other, because who you're associated with. And that shit happens. It's part of life. It's part of life, babe. And it's no fucking different in this industry. So just do your best to stick to your fucking business. Go on social media to promote your business, to try to gain subs, to try to network with other people or whatever. But leave all the drama at home. The fans don't need to see that. We don't want to see it. I don't even scroll on Twitter no more. I just use it to market my shit and hopefully get fans. You know what I'm saying? So that's number one. Number two, babe, please don't get discouraged by the industry. I wish I could have told myself that. And I find myself telling myself, does that even make any fucking sense? I have to tell myself this a few times because the industry is forever changing, and that's just life. The way that people consume porn is not the same as how they used to. And at the end of the day, I know that it can get frustrating, especially there's times when sales will be down. Hello, the economy's in the shit right now. So that's beyond our control. And I know that it can get frustrating, and you're like, shit, well, I have bills to pay. Like, what the fuck's going on? In order to not stress yourself the fuck out and just have your brain going crazy, first of all, please take a deep breath, meditate, do whatever it is that you have to fucking do to get yourself back down to planet Earth. And remember, babe, you do fucking porn. It's one of the oldest jobs in the fucking world. Well, sex work is, okay? Then porn came obviously after in the digital age and shit. But even then, like, they had magazines. Listen, we have been sexualized forever. We have been making money off of our bodies and shit forever. It's not going anywhere. We just hit some road bumps along the way, but I truly believe that people love consuming porn. They may not admit it or want to talk about it, but they love it. I don't care. Like, you go see advertisements, there's naked women, naked men all over the place. Just think about it. Okay? We have all the power in the world, even though sometimes it feels like we don't. So I just don't want you to get too hard on yourself. I've been hard on myself many times and wondering what the fuck am I doing wrong, when sometimes it just happens. It's literally like I said, you cannot control the economy or other people's pockets or what the fuck's going on in the world. The only thing you can control is yourself and how you run your business. And you're probably being hard on yourself. So just take a chill pill, relax, and you know what? I'm going to spin this around and turn into something more positive. What being in sex work has taught me is my own resilience, my own dedication and determination, my I don't give a fuckness. Like, the chips could be stacked against me and I'm still going to find a way to get whatever it is I need to get done to achieve those goals I set for myself. I don't give a fuck how bad the economy is. I don't care, like, if what I'm asking for seems like too much. It never is. You know what I'm saying? So either way, it's just like there's just certain experiences that I really feel like you can't get any other way than the hard way sometimes. But I did want to say that through all of these trials and tribulations that you will find, especially with being an entrepreneur and working for yourself, and the market just being crazy and shit like that, there's like a lot of things that's not working in our favor at the moment. But it's something about that resilience. You're like, you know what, I don't give a fuck about any of all this shit, of all this outside noise. I'm going to do what the fuck I have to do, and I'm confident in myself and my business. And it's just, once you keep building your brand and building that confidence, all of these little worries you used to have won't really be a thing. Like, it takes time, but once you get there, you'll be like, whew, finally. So I wanted to end this video on a very positive note. And yeah, just keep your head up. I promise you, more than likely, what you're stressing about is it's temporary, and we bust our fucking asses, even though most people just see the finished product. I've always been telling people this. I said it's not what y'all think. I'm always going to be honest. So I hope that the fans who are listening to this will take into consideration how hard we truly work. That although we go to these conventions and we dress up and look pretty and make amazing fucking content for y'all, there's a lot that goes into it. So please, as always, tip your sex workers, support us on more than just free sites like Twitter or X, whatever the fuck you want to call it now. Yeah, because we deserve it. Sex work is real work, and that's the bottom fucking line of this whole episode. I love you guys so much. I probably forgot some stuff, but like I said, I just summed up the main points. And as always, if you guys have any questions, concerns, leave it down below. I love talking to y'all. Like, the engagement really makes a huge difference on my channel, and I actually like it. I like interacting with you guys. So we'll see what I talk about in my next episode, but thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys soon.